this session will focus on best practices that can be shared by Codex experts that are representing different regions. And they will provide advice on how to coordinate the inputs of member states at national and regional level, how to align national positions, how to develop a common regional position in Codex committee meetings. And our first speaker is Mr. Kenneth Lowery, who is the Senior International Issues Analyst in the US Codex Office of the US Department of Agriculture. And he is part of the coordinating team for North Africa and the coordinating committee for America and the Southwest Pacific. And he will highlight the efforts of coordination and collaboration between regional Codex regional committees and provide advice to Arab countries and the Arab region on how to coordinate regional meetings. Kenneth, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Rola. I was asked to give a brief talk about some of the programs that the United States Codex Office has with various regions around the world. So let me start here. So the US Codex Office funds various programs. We have a program with the African Union Inter-African Bureau for Animal Resources, or AU-IBAR, to enhance the participation of countries from Africa, or CC Africa in Codex. We fund the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, or IICA program, to enhance the participation of countries from Latin America and the Caribbean, or CC-LAC. We have an ad hoc program with our friends from China, and Tianjin will maybe talk about that a little bit, where we host colloquias in cooperation with them to help them coordinate with Asia. And we have a new program with the University of Laval for the Near East. So what we do not do. So our programs are not designed to dictate what countries' position should be in Codex. The programs are not designed to make countries adopt the US position. In fact, we often support the positions of other countries. And decisions on these programs are made by the regional coordinators and our partners. So I'm going to give some examples of US Codex funded programs in preparing for Codex meetings. I thought the best way to describe our programs was to show how they fit into how CC Africa and CC-LAC prepare for committee sessions. So an example from CC Africa, the African Union has an expert group that analyzes Codex documents and sends preliminary analysis to countries. It has a group of experts from most Codex committees, though not all, and the experts are normally from universities and government, and they're normally 4 to 5 members of this committee. We fund the expert group, including their travel to Nairobi, to AU-IBAR headquarters, and all of their meetings. And obviously, we're not part of those meetings. Those are their own internal meetings and nothing to do with us, actually. So. We also have colloquia. So colloquia are meetings that bring together the delegates from a region to discuss informally their thoughts on agenda items for the upcoming Codex committee meeting. These normally take place before countries have their formal positions, and it's just the experts talking informally about what they're thinking, what they feel about the documents, these sorts of things. Prior to COVID-19, these were physical meetings, though currently in this environment, they're all virtual. So colloquia that can be for an individual region or joint colloquia. An example of this is that CC Africa and CC-LAC often meet prior to Codex committee meetings to discuss informally what they're thinking about Codex documents. This is especially true of the Codex Alimentarius Commission. So domestically, this is a point we don't fund. So after they've had the colloquium, normally the countries will have a domestic meeting and an internal meeting. to draft their actual formal positions. These domestic meetings often involve various ministries and stakeholders. The draft positions then often go to their National Codex Coordinating Committee for endorsement. After that, there's often a regional meeting. This is funded by us, and it's either done by telephone or more likely nowadays via Zoom. This is where they discuss their formal positions with their own region and try and often come together on a single regional position. I mean, because of the informal discussions that took place previously, countries have similar positions. So we fund the interpretation for these and the platform for that. And again, we're not part of those meetings, we're just the funding source for them. Both AU, IBAR, and AICA have programs to assist delegates to attend Codex committee meetings. Though funded by the US Codex Office, we have no influence over who they fund or do not fund. They have their decisions are based independently by AU, IBAR, and AICA on their own criteria. For example, AICA, one of their criteria is that countries the delegate must have passed a course they have on good practices in Codex and how to operate in a Codex committee meeting and things like that. This program differs from the Codex Trust Fund, which sponsors country programs as a whole and normally is building the capacity of a country, whereas the program we fund is, you'll find sometimes countries may have a very keen interest in a particular Codex committee or a particular Codex standard, but may lack the resources to get delegates to the actual meeting. Just prior to a Codex committee meeting, normally the day before, CC Africa and CC LAC meet with the chair of the committee, and they meet with other regions. For example, they will meet with the European Union, they will meet with the Near East if you're available, they meet with Asia, they meet with the United States. We fund this because sometimes governments don't understand that 60% of the working codex actually takes place before the meeting. A lot of it's done in conversations before the plenary session even starts. And they're reluctant to send their delegates a day earlier. They think they're wasting time by being there a day earlier. So what we do is we pick up the cost under this program for an additional night of their hotel stay. So some other examples of programs that we have, I'll start with AICA. So in addition to the regional coordination meetings in colloquia, we fund an AICA twinning program or coaching program that pairs more experienced countries with one with less experience to help them, bring them up to speed. This might be on Codex as a whole, or it might be on individual committees or areas where they feel they need help. We just funded an AICA course on the Codex Procedural Manual, which was actually done by Anna Maria Bruno, who used to be with the Codex Secretariat. They have a program right now where they're doing a survey on capacity building needs in the region and national capacity building needs to identify priority Codex committees and issues. And from that, they design programs and policy outreach programs based on the needs. We do this periodically. We haven't done it for a while. And so we're going through it again. The idea of this is, as I stressed at the beginning, what we fund is not for the US interest. It's given to the region. And these surveys help identify what the needs of the region are and what the region itself needs. So it's not dictated by us, it's done by our partners and by the region itself, especially the regional coordinator. They also have a program right now on analysis of high-level outreach needed at political level to support Codex and design a program. That's a very fancy title to say that often politicians don't understand the importance of Codex and the importance of participating in Codex. So the current regional coordinator for Latin America and the Caribbean, Ecuador, and AICA came up with a program to look at how they can meet with politicians in various countries and stress to them the importance of Codex, and maybe more importantly, get funding for the countries to participate in Codex. And they have a program right now to assist Caribbean countries to effectively participate in the Codex Committee on Food Labeling. This came about because there's a regional organization in the Caribbean called CARICOM, which is doing a standard on front of pack food labeling. And they were totally unaware that the same work is going on in Codex right now. And so potentially there'll be contradictions. So the program is to assist those same delegates from CARICOM who are working on front of pack labeling for their region to participate in the Codex Committee on Food Labeling. So some examples of programs we're doing in Africa with AU IBAR. And again, in addition to the regional coordination meetings and colloquia, again, we have the AU experts meeting. We're currently doing a study on the status of Codex structures in selected countries and participation of countries in the work of Codex. That's very similar to what IECA is doing, where we're looking again at what's going on in the region. We haven't done it for about 5 years, I think. So it's just looking what the countries, where the countries are, what their needs are, and what they want. Because, you know, in our point of view, it's a waste of time giving money to these programs if it's not what's needed by the countries and what the countries don't want. So the programs are designed by the region itself, not by us. And also we have support to CC Africa to identify commodities for the development of regional standards. That is because Africa is using the regional committee meeting, CC Africa, to draft standards under the new African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which they will be using to trade with each other. And so we're helping them to identify commodities, high priority commodities that they need regional standards for in Codex. As for the program in the Near East, that is entirely up to you. That will be between University of Laval, the regional coordinator, and the members of the region, what programs you think are suitable. All regions are different, so not all programs are applicable across regions. And so once again, that's why we leave it entirely up to you. So thank you very much, Rola. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you very much, Kenneth.